Hello to a Fallon nonsense moment. Now, as we received a nice little list from Ayana, hopefully pronounced right, I will begin answering all the questions and occasional break into the LARP accents. But alas, the most of the time will be sounding relatively normal for all you lovely Miserians, because normal English accents are a lot easier to understand than the strange British Isle concoction things. Yeah, anyway. Question 1. How did you get started into LARP? I started LARPing when I was about 15, 16 years old, after being introduced by a couple of friends. Even if we didn't go to events, we often... I say it's often easier to say we chased each other around, and surprise, surprise, first weapon. I love the door and would most likely do wonderful things to it if it was human, because I like my baby axe. Right. Question 2. Has a mundane ever seen you in costume? What did they say do? I can think of 2 occasions, both within the last month. Yes, actually, it's generally a bit of a competition to do daft things after an event. For example, the last event was to see how many of us could get into Burger King with as much costume on as possible, including the goblins who were still wearing green face paint. In my case, it was just going around wearing the kimono and the armour. I had a dagger at my waist, which they kept giving us very dodgy looks at until we started gently tapping each other and dagger spanking each other with it. Yeah, funny looks is the general thing, and people thinking, what the fluffy fluff are they wearing? The other time was just after doing a photo shoot. Look at the avatar pictures. When we staggered into the local pub, I was then dubbed the Mongolian who drinks all the tea in the Guinness. Anyway, moving on to question 3. How big is my LARPing group? My LARPing group is actually quite small. Very small. I think we've got the grand total of about 50 players, plus about 10 staff members and helpers. There is communities that have over 100 players, and unless I'm corrected, there are some in Europe that have over 1,000. I know at one point there was a group in Britain called the Lorien Trust, which had over 700 players, so my community's pretty small in advance, in comparison even. How does one find a LARPing group? I believe is question 4. Yeah, that's question 4. The same way you find most things is the only way I can answer that. Google, the internet, people you know, books, directories, library, advertisements. I found out about LARP personally by talking to people and then researching it. For our own sanity, I've attached a LARP directory link. I can't promise it will help you, but it's a start. But seriously, talking to people and just exploring and trying to find out is the only thing I can suggest. Next question. Did I make my LARP gear? Yes. No, I didn't. Well, not the heavy leather pieces, because I'm not a leathersmith, and if I was making leather armour and costumes and bits like that, I would be wondering, why am I in uni doing earth and ocean science when I'm obviously very good at making stuff? More fabricated pieces though, she says, pulling out an example. Lovely sheath, quickly, which you might recognise from the photo shoot and me waving about. That's really about it. The kimono I did with other people's help. So a lot of the costume I had to get other people to help me with, because me and sewing machines don't quite see eye to eye. We have a tendency to argue, spit, and start spilling stuff at each other. My last case was I lost to the sewing machine, not the other way around. Question 6. Where can one purchase the LARP kit? Obvious, eBay. Though getting the weapons from there is both rare and risky. it's second hand, you don't know the condition, you can't see the condition unless of course you pick it up and touch it. That's about it really. If you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't wobble it about and give a wobble test, you're pretty much no good. Because the way weapons are made, they have a core, and it's easy for the core to snap in the middle if you don't treat them right. The other places is traders at the actual events. You sometimes get merchants and that come in and sell stuff and trade stuff. Not just weapons, of course, you can also get armour and that from them, and basic costume things. Basic costume wise, charity shops, your local shops, depends how much money you're quite happy to spend. And the other route or idea is just again the internet. There's plenty of websites. You type in LARP weapon, instantly you'll find lots of stuff. My only advice if you get things like that from actual LARP websites is avoid ones which have wood. Question 7, if I remember, was, where does one LARP? Depends on the system. For example, on my LARP I go to is a fantasy LARP, so we have elves, dwarves and everything that's fantasized. We even have fairies which glitter. They worry me sometimes. That's run at a scout campsite. But you can get sci-fi nerf LARPs which can be run in a more modern setting, for example ex-army barracks, or I want to say more ruin-based sites or abandoned places which you can go into, old forts and things like that, because sometimes quite popular, or your own, where you've got your own old stone bunkers and that. Question 8, which isn't a question, it's more of a statement. I want more pictures! I know, you'll just have to wait. Shoo. Question 9 is also not another question, if I remember correctly. What's another question? I found a LARPer squee. For a Fallon accent. Ah, yes, my pretties, because I'm going to come take you away, haha. I'm going to come after you and take your little eyes out. Because stuff. 10, is that you and your signature as well? Remember that one. I remember the last one, was except number 11. Is that you and your signature as well? Yes, that's me. That's the same one that helped me win a bottle of whiskey. Spontaneous photo competitions, which was quite good actually, because we got in for 20 minutes and had an email come through saying, hey, come do a photo competition, send us your winter pictures. Okay. 11. How does one make a character for a LARP? Do you have to gradually gain skills like in Miz, or do you just have what you want? It again depends. Depends entirely on the system. Some systems have an XP base, so the more you use it, the more stuff you get. At my system, we create a base character. I play Fallon Scalar. I got to see it in a Welsh, Irish, British accent. Who is a human, who worships a mad, crazy god, but that's not the point. Because she's human, she picks her 4 level 1 skills. And then at every event we have to take 4 skills from the next level. Well, we pick a skill, and once we take 4 skills from that one level, we level up. And we gradually improve that way. I do know that some run on XP base, so you get given XP and then you can put bits into your actual skills, and others run on actually buying the skills in character. I see. I think that's about it. Number 12 got answered before. I know they hid from you. They hid from me for a very long time, and they often deterred me because of the rain. So it's sort of their fault, sort of everyone else's, the weatherman's fault. Woo, weatherman. Anyway, that's about it. There's my twittering. Got to say it in a Fallon Scalar accent though. So yeah, ta-ta. Adios. Goodbye. So long, and thanks for all the fish.